Hey, what's up? This is Alex. I have the new iPad Air 5th generation with me, which I'm pretty excited to show you, so let's get into it. Alright, so inside the box you get a USB-C adapter and cable, as well as the iPad, of course. I have the purple one with me, which is honestly a super cute color. That made me biased though. If you haven't had the chance to see the color in real life, here it is in different lighting environments, as well as compared to other purple items. As you can see, the look from the previous generation is very much present here, but this time around the iPad Air got an M1 chip revamp, as well as a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera that supports center stage. And here are some sample shots from the new camera as well. Now, if you use an iPad as your main device, having a good keyboard setup is pretty essential. There are different options depending on your personal preference. I have tried the Smart Folio, as well as Bluetooth keyboards, and of course the Magic keyboards as well. I would say for the most part the Smart Folio would be helpful for those of you who prefer a more minimal setup, don't mind using the integrated screen keyboard, and overall use the iPad in a more casual way, to browse or look at media, mainly do bursts of typing here and there. The sides are not necessarily protected, but if you're putting it in a bag with a device sleeve, you'll probably be okay. Next are Bluetooth keyboards. They come at different price points. This is a K380 Logitech. It's pretty cute and lightweight and can be connected to 3 devices, even with different operating systems. And this AJAS is honestly pretty satisfying to use. Though for the price and size, you'd probably be better off with the Logitech if you're someone whose setup is mainly static, or if you don't mind carrying your keyboard with you. I've done it with the Logitech and it ends up working pretty fine since it's so small. Lastly, and probably my favorite, the Magic keyboard. I know, priced at $300, it's not necessarily cheap, but I gotta admit that I love how solid it feels. One of my pet peeves with the Smart Folio is that sometimes it can be too flimsy, especially when it's sitting on uneven surfaces. The Magic keyboard gives you the ability to tilt your iPad a little bit, it has a little trackpad included, and the setup is super simple since all you need to do is pop your iPad and you're ready to go. The keyboard itself is super nice to type into, and the fact that it also has an extra USB-C port to charge your iPad means that you have the USB-C of the iPad itself for other things, which comes in handy. Hello, Editing Alex here. So I finished editing my video last night on the iPad Air, and I figured that it would be helpful to just finish up this video with my overall thoughts on the iPad and using it for a week. It has been a mixed experience, so let's talk about it. So my first impressions with the iPad were pretty positive. Just to give you some context, I've used iPads in the past, but it's been more of a casual thing. This time around, I really wanted to integrate myself in the iPad world, so I used it as my main device just to see how far I could take it. I pretty much used Photoshop, Procreate, I used it for my day-to-day tasks. So far, so good. That was until I started editing my video, this video, in LumaFusion. Now, no shade to LumaFusion. I think it's a great app that packs a bunch of great features. Yes, there are some limitations and it doesn't fully encapsulate everything that Final Cut or Premiere does, but it's great for someone that is a beginner to video editing, or if you happen to be on the go and you want to do a quick, kind of like simple video, you can definitely do it with LumaFusion. So the video has 4K and 1080p footage in it, which sounds like a tough thing to do on an iPad, but also we have the M1 chip and there's a ton of other videos that kind of like showcase LumaFusion really handling 4K footage, so I figured that I'd be okay as well. Remember the part where the iPad is amongst all the purple things and it kind of like looks like a stop motion situation? It wasn't really stop motion, it was just a 4K video chopped into little pieces. In that part, LumaFusion couldn't really handle the playback. It just kept on kind of like freezing and doing weird things. Towards the end of my video editing journey, the iPad itself started getting pretty laggy. Like, it wasn't just in LumaFusion, it was on the iPad itself. That just made editing like super difficult. So would I say that I loved using the iPad as my main device and I will continue using the iPad for editing purposes? not really. Like I really wanted it to work for me. If you are someone that's especially editing video, if you're doing a lot of videos, it's not a sustainable way to live, to be honest. You're gonna need tons of storage on it and tons of patience. But yeah, it was overall a pretty interesting experience, I would say. And I think as Apple continues to push more powerful chips into their iPad lineups, we'll continue to get curious and we'll continue to want to push these devices to see how far they can take us, which is pretty fun. But anyway, that's the video for this week. If you've never been here before, welcome. I'm Alex, and this is a channel dedicated to exploring all things tech. So if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. It would definitely help support the channel and make it grow. So yeah, thank you so much for watching again. I will see you next time. Bye, pal.